Also coming to you live from Abuja, one joined now by Francis Olabode Johnson, who is the president of PENGASSAN. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
Well, yes, indeed, it was tough some time ago, but some news coming through from the NNPC. The Kaduna refinery is up and running. They're also going to begin to truck the fuel through the pipelines, good ones going through there. But from your perspective, PENGASSAN, what should we be doing to ensure that we take this further?
Well, like when the government came on board, PENGASSAN called for a declaration of state of emergency in the oil and gas, because there are so many problems in oil and gas. The issue of refineries, the issue of crude oil theft, the issue of pipeline vandalism, the issue of local content abuse, the issue of non-payment of cash costs. So let's have a state of emergency, so that, because for now, oil and gas is the ministry of the economy, until we can get our house rights and start diversifying. Now, for the issue of the refineries, well, like we say, our members are ready to work. When there are crude oil fixed to that refineries, then when you also look at the security of the pipeline. So when all those things are done, they are ready. Kaduna refinery is working. I was there on Monday for a facility tour. And you see that we must also let Nigerians know that the refineries are not about only fuel plants. For example, there is a plant there, a unit, drum plant. That's a money spinner. The drum plant that produces 420 drums per hour, times days, times then you look at the revenue you get from that. So it's not only about that. But the problem you have is that if there are planned programs to set the refineries, like what happened in UPCL, the turnaround maintenance, the equipment is in the warehouse. And by the time Kaduna refinery is sold now, the first thing the buyer will do, take 800 million, 900 million naira, reactivate that drum plant, and start generating money. That can generate almost 19 billion annually.
So if that works,
yes.
You say by the time it's sold, if you backtrack a bit,
yeah.
Late President Yar'Adua wanted to privatize some of the refineries, but Labour said no.
Now, see, let me tell you, then, the problem we have in time past is political interference. And one key thing the president has said when we also have a meeting with him on March 23rd was that oil and gas is key to his heart. And so, it's not going to be interfering. They also know those refineries. That he created Port Harcourt Kaduna refinery with about 20 depots. So, if the Kaduna refinery is working and you have problem of crude oil feedstock to the pipelines, then the drum plants are also there.
Okay,
those generate money.
Break it down a little further. What do you mean by political interference when they say they want to sell those?
No, political interference is this. Like the past government, when you have a minister, when you have a president, and most of the things that are supposed to be done.
I'm talking about
for example,
Yar'Adua's period.
Yeah, for example, let me take it back after that. For example, when I was group chairman of NNPC, for a 3-year tenure, I worked with 4 GMDs. Is that going to be stability of policies? With 4 GMDs. Engineer Bakindo, Engineer Nuwa, late Ladan, and Engineer Andi Yakubu. For a 3-year tenure, working with 4 GMDs, averaging 9 months. So how are they going to work? Then, unfortunately, President Yar'Adua meant well for this country, but may still continue to rest in peace. And also look at it that, yes, there have been licenses given to private refineries. This refinery can work. And so the Labour is not saying no. Also look at it that, okay, if going to do...
But they said no at the time.
No, that time it was sold. But it was reversed because the process was not transparent. For example, let me give you an example. You're going to sell a refinery now. For example, Kaduna, you're going to sell it and there are no due processes. It was that when they were having a meeting at Transcorp Hilton, that Kaduna refinery was listed there. Yes. And how much do you sell it? And what are the effects? But if the turnaround maintenance of the refineries are being done as a went due,
sorry, Chamberlain, because now, all of this argument, it's interesting that we're still very much here, and we can't forget the past. When that was reversed, in the sale of that refinery, and, sometimes some words are vague when we hear them from union, and, they say it wasn't transparent. That's why Chamberlain wanted clarity on that. Don't forget that one of those who bought the refineries, Dangote, today has gone ahead with his own, and pretty soon we'll be seeing a refinery, on an export-free trade zone up. If we had allowed that process, go on without disrupting what the government did at that point in time, do you think would have been where we are today?
No, you see, what Labour has been saying with regard to the refineries is there should be partnering. You understand? Just like the LNG model. Because one, those refineries, because of non-prompt turnaround maintenance, a lot of issues have come up. So what we're also looking at is that let's have be partnering. Because those are, you can't just strip the assets of the country. For example, all the privatization they have done in the NITEL and everything. Why are we today? Even the PHCN. What are the results? What are we facing as a country? So what have we achieved on that? So if things are done properly, because you don't sell things to your cronies and everything, but if you also look at the LNG model, you can also be getting money from that.
You know what Nigerians don't get is how the unions, protest when we try to move forward, and when we come back, they use words not transparent, not open. And when will we ever get an open or a satisfied business with the unions? Because you just, I don't want to go into the power sector, even though you mentioned it. For some, they still believe it's because of the activities of some unions that is making us go through what we're going through now. That's another part issue. But looking at the petroleum sector, don't you think that the unions haven't done well with the nation on this? If you truly work with the union and you feel what the nation feels, then first you should be able to come to the table and say, this is how we can work around this, not an outright reversal of what we've been seeing in times past.
You know when this government came on board, we gave a roadmap, and which was always in the Punch and Daily Trust. And that roadmap, escapulate everything of the sector of the industry. Like I've said, the pipeline, the cash call, everything. And as I'm saying this, we also put out suggestions. We even presented that roadmap to the then APC Transition Committee, led by Ahmed Joda at Transcorp meeting, Katsina Room. We did a presentation. We also sent a copy to Mr. President. That was about May last year. We also published it in Punch and Daily Trust, so that we can also see, and let's see. Our suggestions are there. There is nothing we won't do that we won't say these are the alternatives. But there's sincerity to also follow it.
Was there a meeting after you brought your suggestions?
Nothing, up to today. Nothing has been done. Quote me. Nothing has been done to say these boys are making sense. Let's see how we can also sit down. Because for now, oil and gas is the mainstay of the economy. Or you start getting it right and start diversifying it.
Would you love to share with us some of those inputs you shared with the government?
Well, we talk about the issue of cash crop payments. The issue of cash crop payments is this. It's just like they are paying the marketers. They have programmed how they're going to be paying them. There have been over almost $5 billion outstanding. And so, we even wrote a letter to government, Minister of State, April 15. That's 14 days now. That there should be an urgent intervention. Let's have a meeting with the branch chairman. Let's see what we can also address this issue. Because some of them also are saying they're having problem paying salaries. And by the time we go for our next meeting, we start doing action, warning strike. Nigeria will say, yeah, we have started. In that letter we wrote, we copied Minister of Labour, we copied the GND of NNPC, we copied the GSSS. Up to today, no meeting has been scheduled. And that's 14 days. So by the time we're going to do any action, Nigeria will say, we are doing things, we don't do it right. He said, I can show you a copy of the letter. Then, in that letter, we also talk about the issue of local content, Nigerian content. Our service sector are also endangered. The issue of expatriate quota abuse and everything, that is also there. And our suggestions. We also talk about the issue of the regulatory government agencies, like PEF, like PPRA, how to be empowered. Give them so that they can also make sure that all the uniform pricing, they also tie it to it. They also talk about the issue of the crude oil pipeline vandalism and the refineries. If the refineries are up and down, fine. Nigeria will not be importing